Hello and welcome, JBA fans. I'm your host, King L5, and today we have week 2 of the JBA Season 3, hosted by none other than the Lord himself, Jadex. Now, this week I'm going up against my very good buddy, pal, Money Guy 9559, and he has a very threatening team. He has the Kirim Black, he has the Jirachi, Darmanitan, and he has Megalopony, which conveniently I forgot to bring a counter for. Anyways, he has some other big threats like Torterra he didn't bring this week. But anyways, let's get into my team because you can see what he brought. I decided to bring a Agility Protect Mega Pidgeot. I have Protect so that I can't get revenged by the Lopunny's Fake Out after I Agility. And if you look on his team, everything gets 2-hit KO'd, or if they're weakened a little bit, they just get OHKO'd by Hurricane and Heat Wave. Don't really need much more coverage than that. Next, I have the Doug Trio to really trap a lot of his Pokemon. It does a lot of work this week. It can help weaken, say, a Spadef Jirachi or a Tentacruel for my Mega Pidgeot to sweep later. It can use its Sash to trap the Darmanitan unless it goes for U-turn, which it probably would. Never mind about that, but I can also use my Sash, live a hit from Kirim Black and kill with a reversal. And I can also revenge the Megalopony, as since I did completely forget to bring a counter for that, because I did prep in about 10 minutes. That's probably going to be my Megalopony answer, is to sack something and then revenge with Doug Trio. Anyways, I have a Specs Chandelure because if you look at his switch-ins, he doesn't have any. I also decided to bring Mightyena Choice Scarf because his team is moderately weak to Dark, and I could get a surprise kill somewhere. I am Choice Scarfs with me first, so I can basically copy the Lopunny's high jump kick and knock him out with that if that is what his set is. I also have the Banded Azumarill because, much similarly to Chandelure, he doesn't have very good switch-ins. I guess physically defensive Tentacruel can sort of switch in, but like not well. I'm also carrying the knockoff to do a very clean chunk to that thing, if I do want to predict that coming in. I also have, I believe, an Assault Vest. Yeah, an Assault Vest Excadrill with a moderate amount of special defense EVs. This lets me not get 2-hit KO'd by an Earth Power from Kirim Black, among other things. I think it can 2-hit KO me at least. It's like in my favor to not get 2-hit KO'd, something like that. This thing puts in a lot of work, as you can see. Once Gliscor goes down, he doesn't have a switch in, or if the Gliscor decides to go for like a U-turn or something, predicting my switch out and I stay in, making a ballsy play, he doesn't have a switch in. A little foreshadowing there. Anyways, let's get right into the game. I'll just go through his team. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a defensive Gliscor to deal with my potential Scarf or Swords Dance Excadrill. It's probably going to be a special Kirim, or maybe mixed Life Orb probably, because he needs the Fusion Bolt for my Azumarill. Yeah, probably mixed Life Orb. Jirachi could be Spadef to deal with my Mega Pidgeot, as it is his best answer. Can also get up the rocks. I don't see another obvious rocker because Gliscor is not the best rocker. Much like Clefable, but like that's none of my business. He also has Darmanitan, probably Choice Scarf because it does really well versus my team except for Chandelure. I know that as long as I have Chandelure alive, he's not going to click Flare Blitz. Megalopony, very good ring. Probably going to be the standard Fake Out, Return, Fighting move. Anyways, Tentacruel. It could be Shookaberry, it could be Black Sludge for the longevity, probably Rapid Spin and all that, to keep off the hazards for his Rock Weak Pokemon such as Kirim Black and Darmanitan, and it might have something like Haze to deal with potential Belly Drum Azumarill. I think that would be a pretty nice bring. Anyways, let's get right into the game. I'm going to lead with my Mightyena as he leads with the Megalopony. Now this is pretty ideal. I am expecting a Fake Out this turn to get some chip damage for free, and then next turn I can either me first or play rough or anything. So here I decided to go for the Crunch. as he does not fake out. I crunched because if he wasn't fake outing, he was probably switching out. For some reason, I don't know why he would, but like there's no reason to stay in and not fake out, in my opinion. But he decides to just go for the drain punch. If I did use me first, I would have done about 75% because he doesn't even have high jump kick, and he would have recovered off most of that back anyways, but at least my Deanna would have done something as opposed to sacking at turn 1 and making him use 1 PP on drain punch. Anyways, I'm going to go into my Dugtrio. As I said, I'm just going to revenge this, pop the sash, and reversal, and that is the biggest threat to my team gone. Unfortunately, he has like 3 more biggest threats to my team, and here I go into my Excadrill knowing he's never going to click Flare Blitz with Chandelure around, as he goes out into his Gliscor getting off the Toxic Orb. Now I'm going to go into my Azumarill, because I don't really have the best switch in to Gliscor. I guess I could have gone to Pidgeot, but like I want that healthy so I can set up later. So I decided to go for my Waterfall because he doesn't have a very good switch in. Tentacruel would take a very big amount. Kyurem Black should not be switching into Azumarill, and I know he's not a bad player, so he's not going to make that play. And so I go for the Waterfall, 2-hit KOing the Jirachi as he sets up Stealth Rocks. Unfortunately, I'm not faster than this, and he does bring in the Kyurem Black, and here I stay in expecting him to Earth Power, predicting my Excadrill to come in because that is my switch in, but he just goes for the Fusion Bolt and takes me on out. I also stayed in because he saw from the damage that I was banded, so I had no reason to stay in. My switch was Excadrill, quite obvious, and I felt like getting the Waterfall damage off to put it in range of Hurricane later would be worth it. Anyways, he does take out my Azumarill, and well, it didn't really do too much for the rest of the game anyways. It would have been nice to have. I do go out into my Excadrill as he does switch out into his Gliscor on my Rapid Spin, get those hazards out of the way permanently for my Mega Pidgeot and my Dugtrio. Now I do stay in on the U-turn because I knew he was probably going to predict me to switch out into Mega Pidgeot on the Earthquake, but I just stay in and go for the Iron Head on the Kyurem switch in. And now my Assault Vest is going to come in. I'm going to take the Earth Power very easily. Get the Spadef drop, not going to matter too much. I do go for the Rock Tomb just in case he decided to go into Tentacruel there on the next Iron Head so that I would outspeed next turn because I'm not speed invested. Anyways, he does go into his Tentacruel. Go for the Scald. Even though I am very Spadef, this Spadef drop did not matter. That did 26 or 27 minimum if he was no investment, so yeah. Now I just go into my Dugtrio because it's not doing anything else this game other than getting damage off. Even though I knew he was probably going to be Shuca Berry, it is my best use for my Dugtrio at this point. So I get off the clean 40% damage, not quite in range of the Hurricane yet. Now here I make kind of a bit of a misplay of sorts. Kind of, not really. If I went Chandelure, it would have been interesting because I could hit it with the Specs Shadow Ball. I'm pretty sure I outsped a 0-speed Tentacruel, and a Shadow Ball would have done a lot to put him in range of the Hurricane from Mega Pidgeot, and then I could Agility up and basically only have to take a Scald, and if he doesn't get the burn, that would be excellent because my Mega Pidgeot would be at a high enough amount of HP that it would be able to take a few Toxic rounds from a potential Toxic Gliscor, and I would outspeed the Darmanitan with the Agility. But that's not what happened in the game. I actually went into my Mega Pidgeot, and I go straight for the Agility as he reveals the Mirror Coat. And I'm like, well, good thing I did not Hurricane there. So now I know that I can take the Mirror Coat damage from a few Heat Waves to put him in range of the Hurricane. So that is what I'm going to do, as it only does 30% damage to me. I can do 2 of those, and now he is 100% in range of Hurricane from his from the Heat Wave damage. We know that Hurricane is not a roll at all. Now he goes out into his Gliscor, and at this point, this is where having more HP on my Mega Pidgeot would have been very helpful, because as he does reveal, he is the Toxic variant, and I have no guard, so he's not going to miss that at all. Hurricane does a clean 78%, but the toxic damage is going to rack up, as he does reveal the Protect next turn, which is very unfortunate. I won if he didn't have Protect, and yeah, it's just not a very good time. Another thing why I should have gone Chandelure on the Tentacruel is because then he was basically forced to bring in the Darmanitan and go for Earthquake or Rock Slide. Rock Slide does not kill Chandelure. He would be banking on a flinch there, because I do have, I think, 60 something HP investment, and that would have been really good because he would be forced to go for Earthquake, and then, well, not forced, but he would probably go for Rock Slide anyways. I would live and kill it with a Shadow Ball and then Mega Pidgeot 1. But anyways, I do go for the Hurricane on the Protect. Double Protect there, that is. Didn't really matter because my Chandelure outspeeds regardless, and I was dying to the Toxic anyways. And now it's down to the Chandelure versus the Scarf Darmanitan. Now the roll is a 43% chance to kill me with Earthquake, which is hardest hitting move to hit me. 43%. It's in my favor to live. Let me just make that very clear. It's in my favor. Ha! But do I get it? Not a chance. And that is very unfortunate. But that is going to be the game. Pretty solid game overall. I think Money did play that very well to keep his win cons as much as he could. Obviously, I kind of forced his hand with the Mega Lopunny with the Dugtrio, but his other win cons he did keep around. Like the Scarf Darmanitan was a very good late game cleaner, and he kept that all the way to the end. And he did keep his defensive backbone mostly intact, so he didn't lose to my Pidgeot straight up. Anyways, that's going to be all for this week. Got that nice 0-2 record so far. Both very good games, pretty close games. I made a few misplays, but we're going to try to bounce back, and playoffs are not very competitive this season. You only need to be top 4 instead of top 4 out of 6 in your division, I believe. I believe it's only 2 divisions or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but I know it's not the hardest thing to get into playoffs, and so we still have a chance to get into that and win the whole thing, just like Season 2, but I definitely feel like my team is more based around fun rather than try-hardiness like the last season. Anyways, that's going to be all for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.